The world islands are an archipelago of small artificial islands constructed in the shape of a world map, located in the Persian Gulf, off the coast of Dubai, United Arab Emirates. The world islands are composed mainly of sand dredged from Dubai's shallow coastal waters and are one of several artificial island developments in the emirate. The world's developer is Nakheel Properties, and the project was originally conceived by Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai. Construction was done by two Dutch joint venture specialist companies, Van Oord and Boskalis, who also created the Palm Jumeirah. In September 2003, Nakheel, the company who built the Palm Jumeirah, began work as master developer responsible for delivering the archipelago. Over the course of 5 years, 320 million cubic meters of sand were dredged from the seabed and piled up to create the islands, and 34 million tons of rock were dumped into the sea to create the breakwater, made up of an outer submerged reef and an inner wall 3 meters above water. Invitations to own the world had been sent to potential buyers, with prices for the islands ranging from $15 to $50 million, 10 to 36 million pounds. In 2006, Sheikh Mohammed gave one of the world islands to Formula One champion Michael Schumacher, no doubt to encourage others to come here. In January 2008, the world's breakwater was finished, encircling an area of more than 5,000 hectares, almost 7 times the size of Venice. However, not all of the 300 islands were ready for development. Owners received access to their islands from Nakheel in September 2008, 1 month before the full force of the financial crisis hit Dubai. By the end of 2009, Nakheel, the master developer, claimed to have sold about 70% of the islands, i.e. 210 out of 300, at prices allegedly ranging from $20 million to $50 million. In July 2009, the Dubai developer Seven Tides announced plans to start developing the 10 islands it owns that make up the South America section of the world. Building was set to begin by the end of the year. The developer intended to build chalets on the islands that would be linked logistically to the Royal Emwah resort that the company was developing on Palm Jumeirah, an 8-minute boat ride away. Each island would have between 45 and 55 chalets built on stilts over the water. The islands would have swimming pools and tennis courts and be connected by walkways. They would be self-sufficient for water and energy, with their own power and water sources on one of the islands. Development was to be phased, starting with 3 of the islands and followed, when those became profitable, by development of the other islands. Fast forward to 2017. In December 2009, the Kleindienst Group launched its Heart of Europe development, a 6-island, 12-site luxury holiday destination. When complete, the Heart of Europe would be home to 75 private holiday homes, 6 apartment buildings, 6 hotels, 6 lighthouses, and 6 floating palaces, as well as a range of shops and entertainments. Construction was to begin on the island of Germany in the first quarter of 2010. In February 2010, Kleindienst became the first company to break ground on the World Islands project with its Heart of Europe development. Construction started on Germany Island 1 week after the appointment of Foundation Construction Group to begin soil improvement for the development. Kleindienst had originally purchased 8 islands for the Heart of Europe project, but decided to merge 3 of them into one large city center-style complex. 4 of the islands were to have villas, with retail and office elements on the 5th. The first trade license for business operations on the World Islands project was granted in May 2010 to Kleindienst Group. A hospitality and entertainment license was also awarded to the company by the Dubai government. At the beginning of 2011, groundworks began on Lebanon Island, on what was to become a small beach resort with palm trees. At the same time, it was reported that preparations were being made for work on Taiwan and Kazakhstan, which are made up 5 islands. In July 2011, the Heart of Europe project was put on hold owing to a $199 million legal battle between Kleindienst and the master developer, Nakheel, for breach of contract. In May 2013, a Nakheel subsidiary signed an out-of-court settlement agreement with Kleindienst Properties, allowing Kleindienst to continue with the Heart of Europe Islands project. In March 2014, Nikhil reported that all 300 world islands were completed and ready for development by individual investors. The islands between them represent 931 hectares of new land with 232 kilometers of beachfront to add to Dubai's natural 67-kilometer coastline. In September 2014, the idea was floated that, according to a study carried out by Austrian company Doppelmayr Cable Car, a cable car line linking the Heart of Europe islands to either Jumeirah Beach or Sequim was the most feasible transport option to reach the man-made islands, about 4 kilometers off the coast. By May 2016, only 2 of the 300 islands were being actively used, one being Lebanon Island where a beach resort had been built, and the other being Sweden where the first of 10 luxury villas was under construction. In December 2016, an international film crew arrived in Dubai to document the construction of the Heart of Europe as part of a Discovery Channel series about the construction of unique buildings around the world. Filming began at the first 2 Sweden palaces being built on Sweden Island. At Cityscape Global in Dubai in September 2017, Kleindienst presented the Floating Venice, a DHS 2.5 billion floating resort to be built near the world islands. The project is essentially a ship that's also an island and also a resort split over 4 levels, or decks, one of which is underwater. The resort was said to be able to accommodate 3,000 guests daily. The main entrance of the floating resort was to be themed on Venice's Piazza San Marco. In September 2017, Emirati developer Seven Tides announced that it plans to complete a 100-villa resort on one of its 10 islands in the South America cluster by the end of 2018. By the middle of 2018, just 2 of the world islands had been developed. 1. Lebanon Island is a beach resort catering for day trippers, and the other is Sweden Island, part of the Heart of Europe cluster, on which the first of 10 palaces have been built. In January 2018, Mean Girls star Lindsay Lohan announced that she is designing her own island, to be called Lohan Island. Construction of the 300 islands began in 2003, before being halted due to the 2007 to 2008 financial crisis. Though 60% of the islands were sold to private contractors in 2008, development on most of the project has not started. As of July 2012, Lebanon Island was completed and was the only island that had so far been developed commercially, being used for private corporate events and public parties. As of late 2013, only 2 of the islands had been developed. In January 2014, Kleindienst Group announced the launch of the Heart of Europe project. By February 2014, JK Properties, one of Kleindienst Group's brands, announced that the project was well underway. The first of these series of islands will be Europe, Sweden, and Germany, with development led by Kleindienst Group. The World Project. Islands in the project range from 1.4 to 4.2 hectares, 3.5 to 10.4 acres, in area. Distances between islands average 100 meters, 110 yd. They are constructed from 321 million cubic meters of sand and 386 million tons of rock. Designed by Creative Kingdom Dubai, the development is an area that covers 6 by 9 kilometers, 3.2 by 4.9 nmi, and is surrounded by an oval-shaped breakwater island. Roughly 232 kilometers 144 miles of shoreline has been created. The world's overall development costs were estimated at $13 billion CAD in 2005. The archipelago consists of 7 sets of islands, representing the continents of Europe, Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Antarctica, and Oceania. Each artificial island is named after its representative country, landmark, or region, such as France, California, Rio de Janeiro, Mount Everest, Australia, New Mexico, Upernavik, Buenos Aires, New York, Mexico, St. Petersburg, Sao Paulo, and India. History. The project was unveiled in May 2003 by Al Maktoum, and dredging began 4 months later. By January 2008, 60% of the islands were sold, with 20 being bought in the first 4 months of 2007. On January 10, 2008, the final stone on the breakwater was laid, completing development of the archipelago. As of July 2012, a second island, the Lebanon Island, 1.5 hectares, or 3.7 acres and 482.21 meters of perimeter, was developed and was the only island that has so far been developed commercially, is used for private corporate events and public parties. Difficulties. The Times reported in September 2009 that work on the world had been suspended due to the effects of the global financial crisis. Nakheel denied 2010 reports that the islands were sinking into the sea as wholly inaccurate. Despite the denial, the Daily Telegraph reported in January 2011 that an independent company, Penguin Marine, provided verification on the erosion of the islands and the silting of the passageways between the islands. Due to financial and technical problems, Penguin Marine, contracted to provide transportation to the archipelago, attempted to get out of the annual fees of $1.6 million paid to Nakheel Properties. Until early 2012, only one of the islands had been occupied by a building, a show home, and commercial or residential properties were not being constructed on any of the other islands. Property prices in the Emirates had fallen 58% from their peak in the fourth quarter of 2008. The world economic recovery from the Great Recession resulted in a rebound for the Dubai real estate market. It was reported that residential prices in Dubai rose by 17.9% from August 2012 to 2013, while rents soared by 14.9% in the same period. Purchase and development plans. The world was supposed to be serviced by 4 major transportation hubs linked by waterways. Land parcels were supposedly zoned for various uses: estate, mid-density, high-density, resorts, and commercial. The plan was for utilities to be routed underwater, with pumping stations at each of the hubs pumping fresh water to the islands. Power was to be supplied by the Dubai grid and distributed through underwater cables. However, as of February 2015, no cables had been laid, and developers had to provide their own power using diesel generators. Wastewater and refuse systems are an individual concern for each island. Nakheel Group is itself further developing a resort named Coral Island, covering over 20 islands that make up the North American part of the world. The low-rise development will include a marina and hotel village. The second largest confirmed development is the purchase of 14 islands that make up Australia and New Zealand by Investment Dar of Kuwait. The islands are being developed as a resort named Akyana. The Irish business consortium Lario Novo had plans to develop the Ireland island into an Irish-themed resort. The plans included a large internal marina, apartments and villas, a gym, hotel, and an Irish-themed pub. In July 2007, it was announced that the island would feature a recreation of Northern Ireland's Giant's Causeway. However, on November 25, 2008, a provisional liquidator was appointed for Lario Novo. As of October 2022, this has not happened. In April 2008, Salia Corporation announced that it had acquired the islands of Finland and Brunei and planned to develop them into fashion-themed resorts. Salia spent about $800 million, $218 million to purchase the islands and plans to spend a further $2.4 billion, $654 million on development. Brunei Island will be turned into a fashion TV resort and Finland Island into a fashion community called FTV Palace. Safi Qureshi, at the head of Premier, and his business partner Mustafa Nagri, paid an estimated $64 million for the 4.5-hectare, 11-acre, piece of land. He was later convicted for non-payment of checks and sentenced to 7 years in jail. However, on appeal, he was later found not guilty and released from prison in July 2012, when he was declared innocent of 2 of the 3 charges. Joseph Kleindienst and his firm JK Properties are developing the Heart of Europe, a collection of 7 islands, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, Ukraine, Main Europe, Switzerland, and Monaco, in the European section of the world, into an island luxury resort. It is meant to create a fully immersive European experience, with outdoor snow and stores accepting only the euro as a currency. It was set to open in 2020 but was delayed by the COVID-19 pandemic. In June 2020, a street called Raining Street was being built as part of the Heart of Europe project, with plans to create artificial rainfall once the outdoor temperature exceeds 27 degrees Celsius, with the objective to make a close copy of Southern European climate. In December 2022, it was announced that the first hotel within the project, Côte d'Azur Monaco, had opened. Timeline of construction. May 2003, the world development was announced by Nikhil, total completion scheduled for 2008. It was initially to have 200 islands and an area of 5,600,000 square meters, 60 million square feet. February 2004, it was announced that the world would comprise 260 islands, and its area would be 6 kilometers by 9 kilometers, with an area of 23 to 83,613 square meters, 250 to 900,000 square feet, for each island, with 50 to 100 m, 160 to 330 feet, of water between each island. August 2004, it was announced that land reclamation would cost AED 7.3 billion, $2 billion. April 2005, sand dredging 55% complete, 88 islands completed. March 30, 2006, Richard Branson appeared at a media conference on the Great Britain Island. However, this was to announce direct London to Dubai flights by Virgin Atlantic and was not related to his investing in the project. October 2006, seven-time Formula One world champion Michael Schumacher was presented with one of the islands by Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum on the occasion of his final Grand Prix, in Brazil. Schumacher's manager, Willy Weber, suggested, perhaps he'll build a kart racing track on the island. December 2006, the world reclamation 90% complete. October 2007, Nikhil announced the sale of Ireland and Shanghai in October 2007. January 2008, the world breakwater is completed. February 19, 2008, Sinovation Group acquired a 37,000 square meter, 400,000 square feet, island as part of a project valued at $200 million USD. Guest and residential villas and a hospitality complex are planned. February 25, 2008, Dubai Multi-Commodities Center announced that it will establish a 6,000 square meter, 65,000 square feet, Pearling and Marine Entertainment Center in association with Paspali Pearling Corporation. It will be located on an island in the Antarctic region of the world. September 2008, Dubai's Limitless announced plans to develop a $161 million USD wellness resort on an island in Siberia. Pearl Dubai paid $27.2 million for a 150,000 square meter, 1,600,000 square feet, island nearby. December 28, 2008, Turkey Island was bought by MNG Holding in June 2008 for $19 million. December 28, 2008, China's Zhengzhou International announced that it will be developing a hotel resort on Shanghai Island. December 28, 2008, Nikhil said 70% of the world had been sold. October 2009, an Emirates business report on October 13, 2009 stated that 2 islands were sold in July and August 2009. December 2009, Dubai-based Kleindienst Group said they would start construction of the Heart of Europe in early 2010. Islands include Austria, Germany, Netherlands, Ukraine, Sweden, and Switzerland. January 2010, on January 28, 2010, Emirates Business reported that major trade had started development of their projects on an island in the Greenland area, a villa and hotel resort. February 23, 2010, Kleindienst Group started work on the Germany island of the world. July 17, 2012, the Royal Island Beach Club opened on Lebanon Island. May 6, 2013, Nikhil announced that an out-of-court settlement had been reached between itself and Kleindienst Group, allowing construction on the Heart of Europe to resume. June 10, 2013, construction began on Taiwan. July 2, 2013, Nikhil announced that settlements with São Paulo Development Ltd. for São Paulo Island and a GCC investor for the purchase of Nord Island, totaling AED 185 million, along with the earlier settlement with Kleindienst Group, valued at AED 622 million, have put the world back on the map. December 10, 2013, Nikhil announced plans to connect the islands with a road. January 2014, Kleindienst Group's JK Properties announced that work has commenced on the Heart of Europe. January 2014, website The Heart of Europe publishes monthly construction updates for the project. February 2014, JK Properties announced that the Heart of Europe Islands construction is well underway. December 7, 2016, the Heart of Europe project makes major progress when the Dubai-based company JK Bayan, part of the Kleindienst Group, appointed Chinese-based companies Vuchain Shipbuilding Industry Group and Sino Great Wall International Engineering in a joint venture to develop facilities on the 6 islands. January 2022, Ainantara World Islands opens. Thank you for watching this video.